Welcome to another lesson, and in this lesson, we're going to cover the importance of finance in today's world. I say that finance is a cornerstone of society, and that is pretty much what this lesson is about. Why is it important, and why is it always going to be around, and why should you be interested in finance? So, one of the biggest things that finance is used for, or why it's important, is economic growth, right? So this is how we do well as a planet, right? Each country or even each local community has its own economy, and within that economy, finance needs to provide the necessary capital for businesses to invest in new technologies, expand operations, that is opening new plants where people can be hired and people pay taxes, and the government is able to build new roads and invest in different things, right? And it's going to create a lot of job opportunities, which is what drives our society. And it's going to also drive economic growth as well as development as well. Now, the next thing is going to be resource allocation, which is really important here because, if you have a lot of resources, they're not going to help you if you don't know how to allocate those resources, right? So finance helps in efficient allocation of resources by directing funds to their most productive uses. Now, let me give you an example here. If you had $100,000, right, that's a resource. How do you allocate that efficiently? You might allocate that to buying a new sports car or to going out and having fun and spending all of it. But if you want to take the finance approach of effectively and efficiently allocating this resource or this $100,000, you might allocate 50% to investments. You might allocate 20% to purchasing a new car or house. You might allocate another percentage to something else. Now you are efficiently allocating that resource, which is pretty much what finance is about when it comes to resource allocation. How do you allocate your assets in an efficient way, right? And this is going to help ensure capital flows to businesses and industries with the highest potential for growth and profitability, right? So if you have that $100,000, instead of spending it, you might allocate it towards the stock market. And in return, you might face some risk, but you are going to get a return somehow. Or maybe you start a business with that money, with some of it. You have allocated that money to a business which is going to grow and may possibly give you profit. So resource allocation is important in finance. Now, the next part is going to be investment and wealth creation. Okay. Now, investing, I know I gave a brief example about, allocating $100,000 to some of it to stocks, which is pretty much what this is. Finance enables individuals and institutions to invest their savings in various financial instruments such as stocks, bonds, mutual funds. There's so many things that you can invest in, and these investments have potential to generate wealth over time and financial security. Now, think about someone who invests in dividend-paying stocks, and over time they build passive income by owning these companies. A good example of that is Warren Buffett, who's done that effectively over time, right? So investment and wealth creation is, some of those things. Even businesses themselves, they invest in different things. There are businesses that do mergers and acquisitions. Facebook might purchase Instagram in order to grow its portfolio of businesses, right? And Instagram is going to generate revenue for Facebook, right? And you can go from an individual level all the way to a government level. Okay. Now, the next part is actually really important, which is risk management. Finance helps individuals and organizations manage financial risk through tools like insurance, right? Think about insurance, for example. It helps you manage the risk of losing everything. If you have, let's say, house insurance, your house burns down, you're going to pay maybe a deductible, but the insurance is going to cover the rest of, or the majority of the bill to replace things or to, purchase a new home. So that kind of like protects you from the risk of losing everything that you own. Now, you also have hedging, you also have diversification. So these things, it allows you for the identification and assessment and mitigating risk associated with investment, business operations, and personal finance. When we talk about risk management, it's about identifying where the risk is, and then finance is going to come in and help you mitigate that risk, right? I don't think risk is ever eliminated 100%. There's always risk, but what you can do is you can mitigate the risk, right? If it's the insurance, if we're gonna go the insurance route, you have insurance to protect against losing all your money by replacing something or paying for something. Or you might hit someone with your car while driving, now you have to pay that person. Or you might get sued, you have a business, right? So insurance protects you from that. You also have hedging. Let's talk about stock investments. If I am invested in the stock market, I might want to hedge that risk by also investing in bonds or maybe in real estate, right? I'm kind of like hedging my risk towards something. Now you also have diversification, which is gonna, if you're in the stock market, it doesn't help only buying tech companies. You might want to diversify by buying some healthcare companies, by purchasing other different types of industries. That's how you diversify. You can even look at diversifying by going into real estate in addition to stocks. That is how you diversify. So that is the aspect of risk management. Now you also have entrepreneurship and innovation, which is you find this everywhere. There's a lot of small businesses in this day and age. Everyone can. It's very simple to start a business. The business being successful is a different story, but to start a business, it's very, very simple. Now, finance plays a critical role in supporting entrepreneurship, fostering innovation. It provides funding for startups and small businesses, enabling them to bring new ideas, products, and services to the market. Now, when I see a lot of new businesses and the owner has a dream and a passion, it might be a talented artist who knows how to draw the best things, right? But if they don't understand how finance works, right, they don't know how to do their own taxes, how to do a profit and loss statement, they don't know how to do an invoice, they don't know how to, if they don't understand finance, I've seen a lot of these businesses fall because they just can't manage their finances. So finance is really, really, really important to entrepreneurship and innovation. Now you can also think about startup companies that raise funds. If they're raising money to build the product, or even hire some more people, they are gonna need finance, right? Imagine going to investors. You have to be able to explain your business and how, what is going to be a potential return that the investors might get if your business is successful. So you have to be able to understand finance, and finance can also help these startup businesses or small businesses to get funding, in order for them to even have a peace of mind to create new ideas as well as products and services. Now, the next one is global trade and commerce. Finance facilitate international trade by providing mechanisms for foreign exchange, trade financing, risk management. It supports movements of goods, services, and capital across borders, promoting economic integration and globalization. So this is kind of like a larger, in a macro view of finance, right? When we talk about global, this is trade between countries, right? The US, the United States, and China. This is trade between these two countries. You can even go into foreign exchange of currencies, right? This is a macro view of finance, and yeah, it gets to that level. You go to the micro view, which is the individual, right? And you go to the macro view, which is macro view, which is the different countries that are facilitating, in facilitating trade between the two nations. Now, we also have government operations. So finance is essential for governments to manage public finances, collect revenue through taxation, allocate resources and public goods, and all that good stuff that the government does. So those taxes, they are used to fund a lot of the things that we think are free, right? If we think about the social security program, right? If you are, if you get to retirement age, I think it's 59 and a half or something like that, you're going to start receiving a check from the government. What you don't know is you already paid for it through your payroll taxes, right? They're taking that amount over time. And once you reach a certain age, they pay you back that amount. Now, there's so many things that go into government operations. Think about, the budget, the military, like money that's allocated to the military, money that is allocated to, public safety, money that is allocated to public health, right? So the government has a lot of funds and they need a lot of people to manage those operations. There's so many things that go into that. even building interstate highways, right, or infrastructure in general, healthcare, education, defense. These are, it goes into so many things, that need finance in order to function. Now, you also have financial stability, right? Effective financial systems and regulations promote stability in an economy, reducing likelihood of financial crises. Finance plays a vital role in monitoring and regulating financial institutions, ensuring transparency, and all that good stuff. You have things like the central bank, the Fed, they increase and lower interest rates. So these are all policies and regulations that help us from not losing everything. Now, the last one is going to be personal financial management. Now, this is everyone's favorite because this one focuses on the individual. Okay. Now, you need to be able to manage your personal finances. You need to be able to make informed decisions about budgeting. How do you budget? How many beers do you buy this week, right? You have to be able to save money. You have to be able to invest some of that money. You have to be able to plan for retirement as well. And you have to be able to set some financial goals that you can achieve, such as purchasing real estate, purchasing a new car. These are all things that go into personal finance. So that is pretty much it when it comes to the importance of finance in this world. As you can see, it goes from the micro level, which is the personal finance level, all the way to a macro level, which is going to be the global trade and commerce. Maybe in the future, the macro level is going to be between planets, between Earth and Mars, right? Who knows? But that is pretty much it for this lesson. I will see you guys on the next one.